So I was talking with a friend recently that's pregnant about registering, and I remember registering before my first baby shower and thinking, how on earth am I going to figure out what I actually need versus what websites are going to tell me that I need, and just the sheer magnitude of options at the store. So I ended up going with a friend of mine, and she helped me hone in on what you actually need and what you might have to return afterwards and switch out, and it just really helped me. So it got me thinking, and I thought I would do a little video on the, like if I was compiling a baby gift for someone, these are the things I would grab to put in it, because these have been my favorite for the past 13 weeks, I guess. That's how old David is. He'll be 13 weeks tomorrow. So this is kind of a mom and baby favorites video. I traveled home a couple weeks ago, and a family friend named Carla gave us this little gift. It plays songs. You just press the center button and it plays a bunch of different songs. And it has 2 different volumes, which I am gonna try to never max that out because the first volume is loud enough. Anyway, she gave us this gift before we flew back to Raleigh, and I was flying back to Raleigh with just David, whereas when I flew up there, my mom went with me, so I had an extra set of hands to help, and she was a great help. So we got on the plane, I fed him on the ascent, and then I thought, well, surely he'll just kind of zonk out and fall asleep right away. No. His eyes were open, he was looking around, wanting to take everything in, and he went through a pretty steady phase of crying a lot. Like when he wasn't eating or sleeping, he was crying. And so I grabbed this toy that I had thrown in my diaper bag because I thought, I don't know if he'll like it, but I'll throw it in my diaper bag just in case. And I held it over his face and just pushed the buttons, and there's little lights that flash, and he was mesmerized, probably for a good 10 minutes, which says a lot. And it kind of wore him out, and then he slept the rest of the flight. So this has been a favorite since that airplane ride, and I have 2 actually. I was given one in the shower that I had stashed down deep in a bin because I thought he's not going to need toys for a while. So I whipped that out, and one stays in the car at all times and one stays in the living room. So I think it's called Take Along Tunes. The brand is Baby Einstein. I'll include links for all of these products on the blog post. But definitely a good one. It's under 10 bucks too, so easy to just add on to a shower gift if you're buying a gift for someone. So David went through a pretty significant spit up phase. I breastfed until about 6.5 weeks, and then for a variety of reasons we ended up switching to formula. And it took a little bit to figure out the right formula for him, and in that process there was a lot of spit up because we didn't switch around too much, but I'm realizing now in hindsight, we gave him Enfamil newborn for a while, and he spit up so much, and now we have switched to Similac sensitive, and that seems to be much, much better for him, and his spit up is significantly less with it. But during his extreme spit up time, I was buying bibs every time I saw him at the store. Like, we need more bibs, because we go through multiple bibs a day. And it's hard to find time to do laundry every day. So I got this monster pack at Babies R Us that just had all these colors, and so I usually grab those. My favorite bib across the board is from Pottery Barn Kids because they're huge. And they're not like massive on the kid. And he's, like I said, 13 weeks. So I started putting him in these, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 weeks, because they cover basically his whole front, which you need if you have a spitter. And it wasn't just like, oh, a little spit up. It was just this glob of food, and he'd normally be smiling and totally fine. And anyway, one of the reasons I like these is they don't have that interior liner that's plastic, so this isn't waterproof. Like if you let it sit on him for a while, it'll penetrate through to his shirt. So I understand why they make the bibs that have that little interior layer, but those are so kind of crunchy and hard, and I don't know, I just don't like them. I might like them in a couple weeks because everything changes so much, but I really like these for their size, and they absorb the spit up immediately, where some bibs he spits up and it just rolls right down onto his shirt, and I was like, that's not effective. So these are my favorite. They kind of have I think that's terry cloth on the back and then a nice smooth front, and they've got these little safari patterns. They make girls, pink ones for girls, and then some gray ones too. So I have blue and gray ones. So a little bit of a splurge for a bib, I think, but it also looks cute, and since he wears bibs pretty much 100% of the day. I like that he looks adorable in it. While we're talking about spit up, let's talk about burp cloths. That's another thing I have a surplus of. And I remember before I had him talking to my mom saying like, do I really need burp cloths? Like, can't I just use a paper towel if he spits up? Little did I know. You always, if you are holding my child, you better have a burp cloth on your shoulder. And so I got a couple just cheap sort of cloth diaper square or rectangle burp cloths, and we use those a ton. A friend of mine gifted me these great, I don't even know, I think it's cotton, but a great material. They absorb a lot of the spit up. But my favorite burp cloths across the board are by Aiden and Anais. I hope I'm saying that right. Aiden and Anais. I've heard both. But they're huge. And these are called the Burpee Bib. My friend Joanna gave me a set of these, and they have snaps, because eventually you can snap this around your baby and it turns into like a cloak bib. So you could either put it on the back if you were feeling like you wanted him to be a superhero, or you could put it around the front like this, so it'll protect him from any and all spit up and food any direction. So I will use these for a while. For now, I'm using them as burp cloths, and what I like about it is it's kind of a soft C shape, and so when you put it on your shoulder, it kind of scoops around your neck and covers your whole front area. Because there have been times I've been wearing a V-neck or a low-cut shirt, and if you just have a square that does this, somehow they always manage to spit up like on your skin. There's some like magnet there. And there's not a more unpleasant feeling than feeling spit up just roll down your front. So I like these because I'm protected from all angles. And then like I said, they're multifunctional, so I'll use these I'm sure for a while. They're also really super soft. I think this is one of the bamboo patterns, and they wash up really nice and they absorb immediately. That's the thing with these baby products. Some stuff just rolls off, and I don't know how those are still on the market. Like, who would buy those? Anyway, Aiden and Anais Burpee Bibs, they have a bunch of different patterns, but they are my favorites. Like this are completely ineffective. So I got a couple of these. I think they came in a pack like from Carter's, where there's a couple onesies and maybe a pair of pants and a bib and then like a burp cloth this size. But like this would be, I know that might look big proportionally to how the camera's showing it. This would be totally insignificant to put on your shoulder with my child. So I look at these and I think, yeah, right. And I always grab the biggest. I practically want to wear a robe all day to protect myself from the spit up. So these are much better. Since we're talking about Aiden and Anais, I think I'll just continue. The Aiden and Anais swaddle blankets, swaddle cloths, swaddle blankets I think is what they are, or maybe they're just called swaddles. They're a really lightweight fabric. This is just a white one, big, square, and you can kind of see it's a little bit sheer. I hope you can see that in the light. So they're really breathable and safe in case they come up on your baby's face or anything like that. We got a ton of these at Showers, and I was really, really grateful. I think we probably have like 12. And even though David was born in December, so this wasn't like the blanket I would grab if I needed him to stay nice and warm, but we would double swaddle him because he was a master at breaking out of the swaddle. So we'd swaddle him in one and then swaddle him again in another, and that way I wouldn't worry about him getting super overheated. And usually he was not wearing a shirt. He would just be in his diaper, and we'd double swaddle him, and that would keep him plenty warm. But it's also a good lightweight summer fabric if you have a summer baby and you just want to do a single swaddle just to kind of keep them contained because they flinch so much. But I use these all the time. I have a couple stashed in my car, I have a bunch in the nursery, I have a couple downstairs in the living room, like wherever we are, I kind of keep them around. I like having them in my car because it's nice to put over the car seat so the sun doesn't blind him, and he gets really warm in the car seat, I think just because it's so tight around his body, and so I feel better about putting one of these lighter blankets over him, like draped over the canopy in the whole car seat, to keep him either protected from the sun or wind, or just keep him from looking around and getting stimulated at everything in case it's nap time. And I feel like it's not going to get super hot and steamy in the car seat when I use one of these blankets. So these are wonderful. Really, they wash up really nicely and stay really soft. They have really cute patterns. I, in general, really like the Aiden and Anais brand and have been impressed with their stuff. So we used to double swaddle David, who I also just called Aiden, because I was talking about Aiden and Anais. That is not his name. We used to swaddle him, and we still swaddle him, I guess, but in a Whoopee. So a couple weeks ago, this is a Whoopee. It has a zipper down the front, and then I got the vented one, so there's some mesh here to keep him from getting super toasty. And then it's pretty long. This is the big baby, 14 to 19 pounds, Whoopee Air. So I posted a picture on Instagram a couple weeks ago when David slept through the night for the first time, and he had like busted out of his swaddle and was doing a like staying alive dance motion. And I said something about like he'll break out of his swaddle, but who cares because he'll sleep through the night. And a bunch of people recommended the Whoopee. And when I first read that, I read it as Whoopee, but I'm fairly certain it's Whoopee. I also hope I'm saying that right. Anyway, I looked it up and was like, yes, that's what we need. Also, let me jump in here and say, I was using the Miracle blanket as well, which is what he broke out of. So we needed the Whoopee. So the zip feature was crucial for me because I thought, yeah, unless he's just a tiny genius, he's not going to be able to figure out how to unzip that, and it'll keep him all contained. So he's been sleeping in this only, in a sleeper, and then wrapped up in this through the night and sleeps like a champion. Dude moves all over the crib. Like, I will lay him down on one side and he will wake up on the complete other side, totally flipped around. Like, I don't know if this is a slow migration through the night or if he's back and forth all night. He's quiet, doesn't wake us up. I don't care what he does in his crib. As long as he's sleeping through the night, I ain't changing anything. So he sleeps in this. He straight up hates it sometimes, and just, I can watch him on the monitors, I want to get out, and then I fall asleep. So I think it's comforting for babies, at least for him it is. The hard thing though is going to be transitioning him out of the swaddle, which we're probably going to have to do fairly soon. I think I read somewhere that when they start rolling over, you don't really want to swaddle them anymore, so they have the freedom to move. I don't know. There's a million ideas out there. Anyway, the Whoopee has been a lifesaver. So if you have a child that breaks out of the swaddle, in my opinion, the Miracle blanket does not work. It may work for some. It didn't work for us. I'll put it to you that way. The Whoopee works. I mean, there's no getting out of here. Since I'm kind of into beauty products, if you weren't aware, I was excited about finding baby beauty products for my son. Baby wash. That's all. Lotion. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to be pretty limited with him for a while. But I got the Baby Bee shampoo and wash from Burt's Bees. It is tear-free and fragrance-free. I think it's completely natural. Safe, effective, and natural. Anyway, this will make your child smell like Fruit Loops, which is always a plus. It smells great. It does not lather at all, which isn't really a problem, but Justin really likes a lather, and I like seeing David covered in bubbles too. So we used a fair amount of this, I don't know, a decent amount, and then I was sent on a mission to find something that lathered. So I was at Costco, because, you know, that's where the snappers were at. And I, if you don't know the snappers deal, just search snappers, small things blog, and you'll find my ridiculous post I wrote about it. Anyway, I was at Costco and I found the Honest Company Honest shampoo and body wash in sweet orange vanilla. And it was 2 of these in a pack, and I have heard about the Honest Company for a while now and thought it's really cool. I'm pretty sure Jessica Alba is the one that started this, but I like their packaging and they seem to have really good products, and so I was at Costco and was like, oh, okay, I'll grab it. And the thing about trying things at Costco is like, I'm not just grabbing like, oh, a little shampoo. I was grabbing 2 monster bottles of it, so I was really hoping that this would work out, and it does. It lathers really well. Like, we normally make David a little bubble bath, and it smells really nice. It's not overpowering. This is tear-free as well. Yeah, natural, tear-free, hypoallergenic. And I really like it. Between the 2 of these, the Burt's Bees and the Honest Company, I definitely recommend the Honest Company one. Not because it's better, but I just like it better. I like to see a little bit of a lather, and I feel like when I'm getting under his neck, which gets all irritated from the spit up, and behind his ears, I feel like I'm getting him cleaner than the Burt's Bees, which just, I never really knew if I had enough product, if that makes sense, because I wasn't getting any bubbles. So Definitely like the Honest Company. They have a bunch of different stuff. I've tried their baby laundry detergent and it's fine. I mean, it's laundry detergent. I don't really have super strong feelings about it. It didn't irritate his skin, so it was good. I don't think I'd go through the trouble of buying it though, but the baby wash I would continue to use. Okay, so the last thing that has been a favorite are the Tommee Tippee bottles. Like I said, we started doing formula a couple weeks ago, and prior to that, whenever I was giving him a bottle of breast milk, I would use the Medela bottles, which were great. And then once he started taking the bottle regularly when we were doing formula, I was on a mission to find bottles where the nipple wouldn't collapse. I kept having that issue with the Medela ones. And so I grabbed some Tommee Tippees, which have a much wider nipple than the Medela. Medela is more of like the classic baby bottle nipple when you think about it. And this one obviously is wider. It has a little vent at the top. And every once in a while, this nipple will collapse in like that when it's like really full and that vent doesn't get any air. But if I hold him right and hold the bottle right and the air is able to vent through there, it's a match made in heaven and the nipple doesn't collapse. And David does not like to be burped in the middle of a feeding because he wants to keep eating. I can't really blame him. I would prefer some variety if I were him because he eats the same thing at every meal. But anyway, he likes to eat until he's full. So I like that I'm getting like a good feeding and not filling him with bubbles, since I can see them all be going through the vent and not going into him. So those were just a few of my favorites. I'll include all the links, like I said, in the blog post that you can find on the smallthingsblog.com if you are watching this on YouTube. And if you want to see any other videos, if you're on my blog, jump over to my YouTube channel. I've got a bunch of beauty stuff on there. Thanks for watching. Oh, Mr. Sun, Miss... Oh my gosh, kid songs for days. Why does my nose always run? It smells like cough syrup. What is that? It smells like a car freshener. Car air freshener. Fruit Loops. Not a question.